it's probably not worth drinking. First pitch is outside, and away we go. Freddie Peralta had a fine regular season, 17 wins, only 6 losses, and an impressive ERA of 2.70. He always works from the stretch. A swing and a pop-up foul by Bush out of play. Ron, if you were in that Cubs lineup, what would be your plan of attack against Freddie Peralta?
You have to hit off the fastball. He's got a good one. It's a shade under 95 miles an hour on the average.
The 1-1 is going to be outside, 2-1.
You anticipate him today, though, having a little better fastball than normal, because you're just pumped up. It's playoff time. His next pitch that he uses the most is the change, and it's a very good one, Pat.
The 2-1, swinging a high fly ball, deep right field. Going back, Frelick at the wall. That ball is gone. Michael Busch has led off the series with a home run to right center. Cubs lead 1-0, and listen to the Cub fans in attendance.
Is that a deja vu moment or what? Bushy has done that to Peralta in the past, and he strikes again. He got a high fastball, and he launched it in the second deck.
As I recall, Ron, a couple of months ago, the Cubs were here. He hit the first pitch
That's right.
of the game by Peralta for a home run. What a way to raise the curtain on the series. Here is Nico Horner batting and taking a strike. Busch was 4 for 10 against San Diego with a home run in that series. Horner bounces one to third, glove by Durbin. The long throw in time to get a hustling Horner, and that's out number 1. We're playing outdoors today. They've got the roof wide open. 1-0 Cubs, top of the first. Here is Kyle Tucker.
Could you be any hotter than Michael Busch right now?
Woo.
We were talking well before the ball game today. You said, against the right-handed pitcher, I'll take Michael Busch over anybody else in the league. I think you were right, partner.
Don't you feel that way, too?
Absolutely, 100%.
Here is Kyle Tucker taking outside for a ball. Home runs by the Chicago Cubs. Sponsored by Hefty Home Runs, the official trash bag of the Chicago Cubs. Hefty, strength that's anything but ordinary. Tucker swings and fouls it back. 1 out, 1 in on the home run by Busch, who connected for 34 regular season home runs. Against the better pitchers, and certainly Peralta is in that category. That first run is huge. Here's the bouncing ball to first. It's going to be fair, fielded by Vaughn. Underhand flip to Peralta on the bag. Score that one 3-1. 2 down in the batter, Seiya Suzuki. But against the better pitchers, there's never a guarantee you're even going to get 1 run. So that first one is big.
We saw in the last series how difficult runs were to come by. And you knew against Peralta, because the batting average against him for lefties and righties is hovering right around 200 or less. So the home run ball, as we talked about in this game, was going to play in because somebody had to do a little damage. Well, Michael Busch did that in the very first at bat.
Again, it's a warm day. If that first ball is any indication, the ball might carry pretty well today. Suzuki waiting. He will take down low and outside for a ball.
There's one big thing to me that Peralta did this season that's really changed for the better for him. He moved his spot on the pitching rubber from the middle to the far third base side. And what that does is it creates a much better angle for him against right-handed hitters. You really feel like he's throwing the ball, starting it out from behind you. Very difficult on the right-handed hitter.
A little uncomfortable.
Absolutely. Especially at 95 miles an hour.
2-1 on Suzuki. He was 3 for 11 with a home run against San Diego. He swings and misses, and the count 2-2.
The one thing cross-firing like that, it's harder to get that fastball to the outside corner because you're throwing so far across your body. He throws a lot of fastballs inner half to the right-handed hitter.
Cubs lead 1-0. Here comes the 2-2 to Seiya. Strike three call. Michael Busch, though, leads off the game and the series with a home run to right center. And after a half, the Cubs are on the board, leading 1-0. This is the score on the Southwest Airlines Cubs Radio Network.
On 3 days rest, making his 5th career playoff starts. Left-hander will work against the righty batting Churio, who shows bunt and jumps out of the way.
You know what's going to be interesting in this matchup is Boyd is a guy that tries to get the hitters to go off the plate, and this is a team that does not chase, so he's going to have to be aggressive and throw enough strikes against this Milwaukee 9.
Greg Counsell told us that Boyd was immediately ready to go. He said as soon as he came off the mound in Game 1 of the wild card, he said he'll be ready for Game 1 of this series.
He is pitching on 3 days rest, but only threw 58 pitches in that game, so he should be ready physically to go.
Churio grounds one fair up the left field line. And he'll dig for extra bases. A sliding double for Jackson Churio to lead things off in the bottom of the first.
So a little taste of it right away. Jackson Churio fakes the bunt earlier in the count and then pulls the third baseman in. A breaking ball down the middle that he gets on top of and gets it past Matt Shaw, who's playing a little in from his usual position back. Right down the line.
Had a good series in the wild card last year against the Mets. Gonna bring up Bryce Terang. Lefty hitting second baseman. And Terang smacks one to right. That's down for a base hit and is off the wall. Churio will score and the Brewers immediately answer. Tie game.
Back-to-back doubles here by the Brewers. They don't swing a lot. They don't chase a lot. But when they do swing, they make contact. And they've answered straight away.
Jackson Churriel and Bryce Turang with back-to-back doubles. Turang, who lit up the Cubs during the regular season.
Craig Counsell said they became a complete lineup with the maturation of Turang and the addition of Andrew Vaughn.
William Contreras tags one towards the gap. That is down for a base hit. Past the diving Eden Happ. Turang will score. 3 straight doubles for the Brewers to begin. And they have the lead.
This is a team coming in. Your game plan might be they don't swing a lot. They take a lot of pitches. They don't chase. They have come out just opposite of that. So aggressive for the Brewers. And 3 straight doubles as Tommy Hottavoy comes out to speak to his left-hander. One of the best pitching coaches in all of baseball, Tommy Hottavoy. Done it at a high level for a long time.
This Milwaukee team found ways to score runs in every which way during the regular season. They have the best run differential in baseball. Top 3 in scoring. Top 3 in steals. And as we talked about earlier, the formula that worked in the regular season. Can they get to the Cubs and advance to the NLCS, a place they haven't been since 2018? Here's Christian Yelich. Matthew Boyd is yet to record an out. And Yelich behind 0-1. Finished a homer shy of 30 during the regular season, Yelich. Turn it around after a slow start. Yelich, bounding ball. Contreras has to go back to second. And Swanson makes the putout.
Good pitching there by Boyd, who was able to keep Yelich on that left side of the diamond to not advance the runner, Contreras. I mean, 3 extra base hits right off the bat. The Padres had 7 extra base hits in all 3 wildcard games.
Here is Andrew Vaughn. You referenced him. A big acquisition middle of the season for the Brewers. As he takes an off-speed pitch outside. Vaughn was in AAA. His season had been a disaster with the Chicago White Sox, but added some serious pop to the Brewers lineup ever since coming over.
I mean, their record in games he started since he's come over is unbelievable. Vaughn found a home here in Milwaukee. You know, it's interesting about the information you have now. They liked Vaughn. They went and got him. They restructured his swing. He came back, and he's one of the biggest parts of this lineup from July 7th on.
Was top 5 in the National League in runs batted in from his arrival onward, and he's ahead in the count, 3 balls and a strike, as Carson Kelly came up with a good block. Contreras at second. 3 straight doubles in the bottom of the first for the Brewers. And it's a 5-pitch walk to Vaughn.
We asked Craig Counsell before the game today, how is his bullpen? He said they're not compromised, but they're lessened. which told me that he really would like to see some outs and innings here from Matthew Boyd.
Well, in some ways, they're feeling the after effects from the wild card. It only ended about 36 hours ago.
Michael Soroka getting up for the Cubs.
They're certainly looking forward to the off day tomorrow. Sal Frelick now. And he's tied up on a fastball in on his hands. In a lot of ways, it makes this game one all the more critical for Milwaukee to win.
They got to have it. They have a pitching matchup advantage with their starter, a guy who doesn't lose at home.
Broken bat for Frelick on a ball to second. Horner boots it. Everybody's safe. Here comes Contreras, and he scores.
Well, someone here in the booth was talking about how good the Cubs defense is. Nico Horner is one of the best in the game, but he got caught into deciding, was he going to throw the ball to second or just take it to first? Took his eye off the baseball and missed it.
A Gold Glove winner, but a big error early. And it's 3-1 Milwaukee in the first. Big swing from Caleb Durbin.
Great job by Contreras, who was alert and ready to round the bag, and Jason Lane, their third base coach, to make sure he got him home. Those are the little things we're talking about with the Brewers.
Oh, and 2 now to Durbin. There's always a question for a team ever since this format came to be about whether the bye week is a good thing or a bad thing. And the Brewers went hard in their practice this week to work on fundamental things.
Pat Murphy wanted to make them at least uncomfortable enough to be ready to play the Cubs here in Game 1.
Chop foul. Lauren, you have more?
Yeah, he told me the exact same thing. Monday, they took the day off. Tuesday, he said slightly uncomfortable workout. Wednesday and Thursday is when they hit it very hard, very uncomfortable. He said the guys were pushed. They wanted to simulate live action. And then Friday was the media day, a lighter practice. But Andrew Vaughn told me he felt like they handled it well. Their bodies, their minds needed that rest. They created those live action situations, but also got that rest and recovery at the same time. He said they're ready to go today, and you can tell through the first inning.
No doubt. Durbin strikes out for the second out of the inning.
You're right, Lauren. You go down 1-2-3, you're not ready, and that was too big of a time off. You hit 3 doubles in a row, you're raring to go.
Pat Murphy, one of the great characters in this game, trying to thread that needle between keeping the team loose and keeping them focused. With a week between games, Blake Perkins now, switch hitting outfielder. Bat from the right side. Been a rough season for Perkins. Began the year injured and then found out some of the worst news you could find out. His mom diagnosed with cancer. Stage 4. She didn't make it through the season. And it's been an emotional ride, and Perkins has certainly been a favorite in the clubhouse for a while here in Milwaukee, but his teammates carrying big time this year. And he's helped carry them as Perkins fouls this off.
Yeah, he's been so stoic about it. You know, it's a very difficult thing to, do you share? Do you not share? But, you know, got through the season. Here he is, starter in center field for Game 1.
Facing a 1-2 count. And Boyd misses with a fastball.
Pat Murphy said he knew Matthew Boyd very well. I asked him how. He said, well, when he was auditioning for all the teams in June of 2024, Milwaukee was all in, and they had done their research. They really wanted him, but he went on to the Tigers.
2-2. Fouled off. Milwaukee with 3 in the first. Trying to shake off what's been a lot of frustration in the postseason the last few years. Haven't won a playoff series since 2018.
That's when they swept the Rockies before losing to the Dodgers.
Two-two to Perkins. And he looks in ball 3.
You can see in this first inning not only the aggressive swings at strikes, you can also see their ability to not chase balls out of the strike zone.
25 pitches for Matthew Boyd in this first inning. And 3 on the board as Perkins stays alive. Wonder what questions Craig Counsell is pondering in the early stages of this game. Everybody with a head start on 3-2, and it's another foul ball. Terrific at bat from Blake Perkins. He's fouled off 3 in a row. On Tuesday in the first inning, Matthew Boyd needed only 12 pitches. Number 28 is fouled back. And he get through this inning. Get the Cubs settled into this game. Another payoff. And Perkins again gets a piece.
Heated, intense games between these two clubs all summer long. You can see it in this at bat. It's on the side of that breaking ball as Matthew Boyd fouls it right off the shin of Perkins. Cubs won 7, Brewers 6.
Again, the runners go. And Perkins wins the battle. Vaughn around third. He will score. 4-1 Milwaukee. Craig Counsell has seen enough.
Nice hitting here from Perkins. Gets down on that changeup. A bullet to center field. Look at the reaction.
Blake Perkins wins an 11-pitch at bat and chases Matthew Boyd in the first.
for Soroka. This is a big situation. You come in the game, you're only down 3 runs right now here in the first, but with 2 men on, you need to get out of this inning right here.
Frelick actually went to third on the base hit by Perkins. So Frelick at third, Perkins at first. 4 runs on the same number of hits from Milwaukee. And now Soroka to face Joey Ortiz. Ortiz hit .230 during the season. Right-handed batting shortstop. And the first pitch on the way. Taken down low for ball 1. Well, the Cubs have a lot of firepower in their offense, and they'll have to put some big runs on the board in today's game.
You never know what's going to happen in a playoff game, and we did not expect this, but runs might be one of them ball games where you got to win 10-8.
I would say you never know in any kind of a ball game, Ron, and that applies to amateurs, professional, regular season, postseason, preseason. Here comes the 2-0. On the way to Ortiz, and that's outside, 3-0.
Like 2 pitches that Soroka's thrown has hit the strike zone and were not called by Edwin Moscoso. The first pitch he had down and hit the zone, and that last pitch hit the outside corner, did not get the call.
Let's see if he can come back. 3-0, a throw to first, not in time. Sometimes a guy will make a pickoff throw just to try to get a little blood flowing in his system and relax. Ortiz, diminutive right-handed batter waiting. He'll be taking all the way on 3-0. And it's ball 4. The Brewers have batted around in the first inning, and now Jackson Chourio, who doubled down the left field line, will bat with the bases loaded.
Well, Chourio got it all started with that high changeup that he hooked and just barely kept it fair and ended up with a double.
Chourio takes a strike here. This is a pretty big at-bat in this game, Ron.
Absolutely. I thought Ortiz was, but he walked. And now you got to try to get out of this inning. And where you're at right here at 4-1.
Bases full of Brewers. Here's a foul at the plate. 0-2. What do you like on 0-2?
Now you say inside. It seems like they're trying to go inside against Chourio with hard stuff. If that's the case for Soroka, he's got good run on his fastball inside.
Chourio, dangerous right-handed batter. He'll check and take outside. Chourio had the first grand slam of his career against the Cubs back in June of 24. 21 home runs this season. The pitch. Line drive, base hit to left. 1 run is in. Rounding third is another man, and it's a 2-run single for Chourio. And the Brewers lead 6-1. Both Perkins and Frelick score on the play. Stopping at second is Ortiz. All of the runs charged to starter Matthew Boyd.
This is actually a pretty good pitch. It's a slider down and away on the outside corner. Down. And Chourio on time with it. Just hooks this ball past Dansby. It's short. In the hole, goes in the left field. And once it gets past Dansby, 2 runs we're going to score easily.
Ortiz stopped at second. Bryce Turang, the batter. And the pitch on the way. It's outside for ball 1. Turang, the 11th man to bat in the first inning for the Brewers. And the 1-0. And that's going to be a strike. These two teams have had some wild games over the years. And now the 1-1. Outside for a ball, and the Cubs are hoping this will be a wild game as well.
Yep.
And it might be.
Yep. 6 runs have been scored in this first inning by Milwaukee, and you would guess that not one of them has left the yard. They have sprayed the ball around the field. That's kind of their MO.
Swinging a foul back by Turang.
They don't strike out a lot. They walk pretty good for a team that swings a lot, but they put the ball in play.
Turang, left-handed batter, doubled down the right field line his first time. And the 2-2 from Soroka. Swing and a miss, strike 3, and the inning is finally over. The Brewers score 6 times, 5 hits, 1 error, 2 left. After 1, Milwaukee's 6. Cubs 1 on the score and the Southwest Airlines Cubs Radio Network. Foul deep to right and out of play.
Well, this was supposed to be 2 all-star pitchers in a pitcher's duel. Maybe it's just going to be one of them games that goes back and forth.
Happ hits a fly ball to center. It's going to be caught by Perkins for out number 1. Well, a long way to go, Ron. We're only in the second inning. Carson Kelly coming up. Again, the ball is carrying well today. It's a good day to hit. It's 82 degrees in Milwaukee. The roof is open. Stranger things have happened.
Oh, yeah. It's watching batting practice today. The ball was really flying, so we'll see how it goes.
Kelly takes a strike. Peralta in his career making his 18th start against the Cubs. He is 9-3 against the Cubs. Cubs have gotten him a few times. He is 0-1 in his career as a postseason starter. This is his 4th career postseason start. Big, strong right-hander. And the pitch on the way. That's down low for a ball. Peralta, 29 years old, born in Moca, Dominican Republic. He's strong. He's 6 feet tall, 198 pounds. Very athletic. There's a swing and a smash foul down the left field line off the bat of Kelly.
Cubs have hit the ball hard. A couple of this inning, Yap just missed hitting a home run, hooking when foul. That ball smoked. Bushy hit one really well out of the ballpark.
Pitch on the way to Kelly. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Off-speed pitch got him, and that's out number 2. Strikeout number 2 for Peralta. Cubs trail 6-1 in the second, and the batter is Pete Crow Armstrong.
That's the pitch this year that has changed Peralta from years past. He's always been very good, but this year, instead of that sweeping breaking ball all the time to the righty, he now goes right on right changeup.
Base hit to right by Pete Crow Armstrong. Solid ground ball between Turang and Vaughn. 2-out single for Pete. Here comes Dansby Swanson.
You know, that is a pitch that most right-handed pitchers frown upon using. A right-handed pitcher throwing a right-handed hitter a changeup. But he's got a very good one, and he's really used it effectively this season. So now with that sweeping hook, he has the change to go along with the good fastball.
Swanson the batter. Dansby will take a strike. You would not think Pete Crow Armstrong would think about stealing with the Cubs down by 5. Swanson, a 24-homer season during the regular year. And the pitch on the way. Dansby pokes it foul. Just reading about what the Padres were saying about Dansby. They said his defense was a big part of that Cubs victory in the series, and it was. He put on a show. Now the 0-2 from Peralta. Fastball high. Bluffing a throw to first, Contreras.
Yeah, the defense in that series for the Cubs was outstanding. Dansby in that final game, I mean, you really can't have a better defensive day.
Swing and a miss, strike 3, and that ends the inning. Cubs don't score, lead 1, middle of inning number 2. Milwaukee 6, Cubs 1 on the score, and the Southwest Airlines Cubs Radio Network.
division series. Brewers with a 6-1 lead. They chased Matthew Boyd. Michael Soroka is in. Came over from the Washington Nationals as he faces William Contreras here, but injured right off the hop in his Cubs debut. Didn't come back until mid-September, but they're going to need some innings out of him today.
Starting pitcher when he started his career with the Atlanta Braves was more of a sinker, sweeper kind of pitcher in those days. Now, those more four-seamers.
Contreras with a base hit to left.
Fastball, middle of the plate. Contreras took care of it. Another hard hit ball off the bat of these Milwaukee hitters.
I'll bring up Yelich.
Yelich really is the glue for this team. He's not that old, but he seems like the senior citizen for this young ball club. He's the man they go to when they have questions.
The face of the franchise, no doubt. He was asked yesterday about the Brewers' playoff losses because he's been here for virtually all of them. Didn't play in the wild card round last year with a back injury. And he said there's no real common thread. Every year is a different team. Every year had its different challenges. But recognize that they need to get the monkey off their back here. This is a team that's won 3 straight division titles, 4 out of the last 5.
They have an amazing culture in Milwaukee, but you're right. They need that. They need to go deep into October to make those 97 wins stand up.
Franchise record. 3 balls and a strike to Yelich. And he grounds one into right for a second hit in this second inning. Outs have been hard to come by for the Cubs. 2 on, nobody out.
Holding Contreras on at first base opened up that hole between Bush and Nico Horner. And Yelich takes advantage of it.
Andrew Vaughn here. Chicago Cubs have 2 comebacks of 5+ runs this season. They have not come back from down 6 or more. Makes it 3 straight hits. Brewers go station to station. They load the bases and have a chance to blow this thing wide open.
0-2 pitch here from Soroka. Caught too much of the plate. Vaughn caught it a little off the end of the bat, but it had enough on it to drop into left field and find some grass. Bases loaded here now for the Brewers in inning 2.
And Sal Frelick, who his former manager Craig Counsell once called the hit collector. Another one here, can score 2 more. As his bat goes flying on strike 1.
Frelick is the only guy that has been uber aggressive. A check swing in his first at bat on the first pitch, and now a lost bat in his second at bat. Former football player. He's got the temperature up here early in the game.
The highest contact rates in the majors. Pat Murphy knows a thing or two about football. That's where he got his start coaching before he was coaching in baseball. Couldn't ask for a better start if you're a Brewers fan. Bases loaded, nobody out, bottom two. Frelick behind 0-2. Aaron Savali, former starter, a former Brewer, warming in the pen for Chicago.
In fact, the Brewers traded Savali to get Andrew Vaughn. And now Savali here with the Cubs. A long road for him this summer.
And from the south side to the north side at the end of August. 1-2. And the slider misses low and in.
Well, Carson Kelly's been on point. A couple times now he's had to keep that ball in front of him.
Two pitch. Frelick serves it to left. Happ comes in. It stays up for him. And Contreras will bluff from third. But everybody stays put. And a huge first out.
Well, you see the runner Contreras on third. Doesn't run great. So once Happ was coming in, his momentum was on the way forward. He knew there was no chance for him to go. Nice play by Shaw to keep that ball in front of him.
I'll bring up Caleb Durbin, who struck out his first time. Soroka up to 28 pitches. Off the hands, little flare. Horner unable to get there. Two more will score. Caleb Durbin drives in a pair.
.164 infield hits. Jam shots that end up dropping in. When they swing, they made contact. And they're finding holes here on this Saturday afternoon. Scott Counsell scratching his head.
You mentioned it right away, Ronnie. The Brewers had an aggressive approach from the get-go. That's their third hit on the first pitch of an at-bat this afternoon.
Yeah, we talked about how patient they can be, but they will swing at strikes. So if they view that the pitcher is going to be uber aggressive on that first pitch, they will fire, and it's been successful so far. Average Joes indeed.
All of this with Blake Perkins here. RBI single his first time. Just 54 games this season. After that early injury, he bats from the left side here against the righty Soroka.
We've talked a lot about the Brewers having that time off, and it doesn't work against teams. Maybe the Cubs didn't have enough time off. Quick turnaround for them from the wild card series.
Well, we saw early when this format was adopted that teams from the wild card plowed their way then through the division series. Right. And it led to a lot of questioning. Is this the right thing to do? And this Brewers team, Pat Murphy has said it over and over in the week leading up to this game. They needed the rest, especially their bullpen.
McGill, who had just come back on the last day of the season, who was their closer, early in the year. He got a chance to throw on the side before they started the series. Contreras, who had a hurt hand, chance for him to heal.
Ground ball from Perkins. Bush will win the foot race to the bag for the second out as both runners move up. What a start to this division series. 6 in the first, 2 in the second. For a Milwaukee team that, although they did not slug, they still had the second most runs in baseball during the regular season. Infield backs up with 2 outs. And Joey Ortiz takes ball 1. Two and 0. Of course, the Cubs are without a couple of starters. Justin Steele, season-ending injury early in the year. Cade Horton, a fractured rib at the end of the regular season. Putting together a terrific year in his rookie campaign, but he's unavailable. Which is likely what led to the Cubs trying to roll the dice here and going with Matthew Boyd. Just 2/3 of an inning, the shortest outing for a Cubs player in the postseason as a starter in many years. Lauren, you have more on Cade Horton as the bases are now loaded?
I do. Craig Counsell said earlier that he's not going to be available for this DS series. They said they haven't really pushed him that hard. They're not testing him. They're focusing on just getting his health back up to 100%. And then they'll push him maybe towards the end of next week, hoping to get him back if they advance to the CS.
We'll see if they get there. Craig Counsell serenaded with booze, and the Brewers fans cheer another pitching exit for Chicago. We'll be right back.
The pain I felt is paid for, all is said and done. Oh, I am restricted, fixed upon the web. I need to kick the habit that my mind is breathing in. Break out, I've got to see. Spent all my life holding all of it close.
4 starters, 10 innings so far in the postseason.
Savali's bounced around. He's had injury trouble throughout his career. Traded, waived, picked up by the Cubs. And And he deals a strike to Jackson Churio, his third at bat, and we're only in the second inning. What could turn into a rout here, if it isn't already?
Well, I promise you one thing. If he gets another hit here, he'll make another historical record. Right?
Fouls this one back.
Churio steps a little bit in the bucket, but he also has tremendous power when he's got it working to right center field.
Borderline pitch. Savali doesn't get the call. Churio knows how to string them together. He had a 20-game hit streak earlier this summer. 2-2 from Savali, and Churio grounds one to third. Diving stop by Shaw. His throw not in time. Another run comes home.
What a play by Shaw. Not only to get to it, but to make a play on it. But just couldn't get enough air on that ball. And the 3 hops, not enough to get Churio with his speed. Up and down this lineup for the Brewers, tremendous speed. And now they're checking on Churio to make sure that he has not hurt himself in that sprint down the first base line. Hanging his head. You mentioned he had the hamstring strain, right? Hopefully he didn't re-injure that for Brewers fans.
Scott Behringer is the lead athletic trainer for the Milwaukee Brewers. Pat Murphy in that conversation as well. Take a look.
Kind of landed awkward in the bag. Usually when you hurt a hamstring or quad, you reach down for it as soon as it gives you pain. But he did not. But he's coming out of the game.
Well, he makes history, the first player in big league history with 3 hits in the first 2 innings of a postseason game. We'll head to the showers early with an apparent injury. Churio has driven in 3 out of the Milwaukee 9. Terang takes low and in.
You see that sign? It's the sign of a guy who knows that he hurt something pretty severe.
Base is still loaded here, and how big of an impact might that be for Milwaukee over the course of this series? Isaac Collins will pinch run for him. Remember, Churio missed most of August with a hamstring injury, 28 games in all. Open question as to whether he was 100% when he came back. He hit just 200 in the month of September. And now he is unavailable for the rest of this game as Collins replaces him.
We're talking about Terang's maturation this season. 10 home runs he hit in the month of August. Brewers hit 45 in that month, their best.
Strikeout of Terang ends the inning. But 9 more men come to the plate.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. Hop in the club, in love with the dog. Active, yeah, I'm free like a dog. In love with the bass, in love with the sob, in love with the energy I get from above. Hop in the club, in love with the dog. Active, yeah, I'm free like a dog. In love with the bass, in love with the sob, in love with the energy I get from above. Wheel it, take it back. Fire burning on the track. Get down, make it clap. Like 1, 2 bars, we deal with that. Deal with that. Deal with that. Deal with that. Come around, family's here, come around. Time, yeah, come around.
What you want to do is you want to ruin Peralta's day, right? You want to start doing something to try to score some runs, get some hits, get some base runners, and, have him have some issues too. Whether, you come all the way back or not, you really want to keep grinding and not make this, a quick, easy 5 innings for Peralta and then him leave the game, without any stress on him.
Matt Shaw takes inside 2-0. He'd gladly take a base on balls to get this inning started. Shaw without a hit in the series against San Diego, 0 for 8. Third inning sponsored by Rougiette, ED specialists who get you back in the game. That's what the Cubs want to do right now, get back in this game. There's time. It's only the third inning. And the 2-1. Popped up foul and out of play. Bush to follow, and then Horner. Bush led off the game with a home run, and even though that's only 2 innings ago, that is almost a distant memory with all that's transpired since. Inside, it's 3-2.
Yeah, this place was erupting going into the first at-bat of the game, and then it went really quiet, and you heard the Cub fans as the ball sailed into the second deck. Off the bat of Michael Bush. That was a while ago.
Let's see if Shaw can get on. Peralta, big strong right-hander from the stretch, fires. And the ball is fouled down the left field line. Back out of play. Give that a long ride, but pulled it foul. Cubs split their 6 games in this park for the year. Cubs able to win 4 of the 7 at Wrigley. Here's a pitch down low, and there's ball 4. Now that's something you wouldn't expect from Peralta. His team has given him an 8-run lead, and he walks the number 9 hitter to lead off the inning.
And Contreras instantly out to the mound to talk to Peralta. Now that is, if there's one thing about Peralta that happens every now and then is, I'm not sure why, because we're not with them on a regular basis and see them. If it's you lose a little focus, you lose whatever that is, but the walk can come into play for him, and when it does, it usually is not good for him.
Michael Bush, the batter, he will take low and in. Walks to Cubs batter, sponsored by It's Not a Game, Illinois.com. Remember, a walk is free, a DUI is not. Drive sober or get pulled over. Pitch to Michael Bush. Drilled in the air, right center field. Long run for Perkins. The center fielder gets there to make the catch. About 5 feet shy of the warning track in deep right center. That's out number 1. But another good plate appearance by Bush. His timing right now is really impressive, Ron.
Yeah, he was right on time. Just hit that ball just a touch off the end of the bat, or else that would have been a home run. Meat of the order, that's presented by Chef IQ Sense. Never under or overcook your food again. Purchase now at chefiq.com.
First pitch to Nico Horner is a strike. Nico 4 for 11 against San Diego in the playoff series that concluded earlier this week. And he'll take just outside for a ball, 1-1. Nico's slightly open stance, right-handed batter waits. And the 1-1. That's going to be down low for ball 2.
A lot of breaking pitches in this inning from Peralta. When you got a lead like this, you're up 9-1. Wouldn't you think you'd aim for the middle of the plate and just start pumping in strikes?
Sure would. Chopper foul. Both teams have excellent second basemen. Bryce Terang from Milwaukee, Nico Horner for the Cubs. They both bat second and play second. They're both clutch hitters. They hit for a high average. They spray the ball around. That's another similarity between the two. Two of the best second basemen in the game in this series. Here's the 2-2 pitch. Nico swings and misses, strike 3, and that's out number 2. And it'll bring up Kyle Tucker.
Boy, that's a fastball. That was 97 miles an hour, and that ball exploded out of Peralta's hand.
I'm sure, Ron, you took some swings. You thought you were right on a pitch, and you were actually surprised that you didn't even make contact.
Yeah, you're like, did that go right through my bat? And then you look at the replay, and usually it's a pitch like that. First pitch fouled off to the left. It's usually he really gets through, a pitcher gets through that fastball, and it like that one. He's averaging 94. That fastball to Nico, 97.
And you're always slightly under the ball, aren't you?
Always, yep.
Here's the pitch to Tucker, fouled away off to the left, out of play.
Yeah, from the fastball, it's almost never do you see guys on top of the fastball missing.
Kind of interesting when you think about it.
Yeah, right. Designated hitters today, they're sponsored by Fireplace and Chimney Authority. Book now, burn later. Skip the rush.
The 0-2 from Peralta to Tucker. It's outside and high. 9-1 Milwaukee, third inning. Game 1 of the best of 5 National League Division Series. Playing outdoors, the roof is partially closed. Warm day. Inside to Tucker, raising the arms to avoid being hit. 2-2. 2 years ago, Tucker led the American League in RBIs, playing with Houston with 112. It's a nice RBI total. Fastball away, 3-2. So traveling time for Shaw at first. Let's see if Tucker can get a hold of one and put a little dent in that 8-run deficit. Top of inning number 3, 2 down, full count. And the pitch on the way, fouled away. Shaw almost took off too soon at first. It's not the right time to be caught in no man's land. And he was almost stuck.
Yep. 3-2 breaking ball to Tucker.
Peralta at 46 pitches. 2 outs in the third. Here's the 3-2. High ball 4. He walked him. Second walk in the inning. You just wouldn't expect a guy with an 8-run lead walking 2 men in the inning, including the number 9 hitter, but that's what we've seen. And here's Suzuki with a chance to get the Cubs partially back in the game.
Well, and Contreras went out after the first walk, was upset, was kind of yelling at Peralta, and then came back and keeps calling the breaking balls.
Suzuki a swing and a miss. Suzuki struggled against Milwaukee pitching this year. 50 at-bats. Hit just 120 against them with 22 strikeouts. He pulls one foul, and the count 0-2. But Seiya had a great year. 32 homers. He drove in 103. 30 and 100. Those will never go out of style for a slugger.
Yeah, they're magical numbers. There's no doubt about that. He's had a great year.
Peralta with a brand new ball. Wearing those gold shoes. Here's the pitch. Strike 3 call and a breaking ball. Inning over. No runs, no hits, 2 walks, and 2 men left on. We go to the bottom of the 3rd inning. Milwaukee 9, Cubs 1 on the score on the Southwest Airlines Cubs Radio Network.
On defense is to get back on track in the ballgame here a little bit.
First pitch outside for a ball. 1-0. Contreras with a double and a single already today. He'll take a strike. One of the better hitting catchers in big league ball today, William Contreras. Bounces one to third. A charging Shaw gloves it. Running throw to first to get him easily. Out number 1.
Yeah, I would agree with that. He's, when you look at a guy, knocking in close to 80 runs as a catcher, and then where he hits in the lineup, hitting third in this lineup. He's got some pop in his bat, no doubt.
Here's Christian Yelich. Yelich 1 for 2, singled and scored in the second. And he'll take down low from Savali. A little bit of sunlight on the field in foul territory on the right side, right in front of the Milwaukee dugout, coming through the window panes. On the right field side, here's a fastball strike, 1-1. Most of the field is in the shade, late afternoon shadows. Now the 1-1 to Yelich. Stroke foul, back out of play. Yelich tall and wiry strong. Takes a very nice swing.
Yeah, he's always had a great swing. And now that he's back, his legs are healthy, his back is healthy again. As you mentioned, back into the power numbers with 29 bombs, over 100 RBIs this year.
He hits a fly ball to left, slicing toward foul territory as Happ can't get there. That ball bounces off the side wall. The tarpaulin's rolled up and wedged against the grandstand down the left field line.
Now, can I ask you a question?
Sure.
These things, I ponder these things at night when I can't sleep. When you have a stadium with a roof, retractable roof no less, do you need a tarp?
That's a very astute observation by you.
In other words, of those things I wonder about late at night.
In other words, if it starts raining, just close the roof and there's your problem solved.
It's like you spent millions on a great big tarp up above.
Here comes the 2-2, ground ball to second, fielded by Nico Horner, and he throws out Christian Yelich, and that's out number 2.
It's a heck of an umbrella you got over the stadium to need a tarp. You know what I mean?
You know what? We should really ask somebody in management.
You and I have been friends with Mr. Seelig a long time, our old commissioner and the owner who kind of got this statement. It might not be the right time to call him now, but maybe in the future.
I think I do have his phone number somewhere.
I'm sure you do. You Hall of Famers all, you kind of hang out together, yeah?
Here is a pitch in there for a strike to Andrew Vaughn. I'll give you credit, though, for the question. Ron Coomer was asking me about the tarp. Here's a fly ball to deep right. That's trouble. Going back, and with room is Suzuki making the catch. Vaughn retired on the fly ball to deep right. We go to inning number 4. Milwaukee 9, Cubs 1. This is the score and the Southwest Airlines Cubs Radio Network.
Your lips will let me go for long now. I'm right. I already know what's on your mind. I already know what's on your mind. And you can try, but you can hide it from me. You think it's secret, but it's easy to see. I already know what's on your mind. Nobody
Gur and Ken Griffey Jr. and Buhner.
A-Rod.
I mean, they had some great teams. To not make it to the World Series for any of those teams, isn't that something?
Not a single time. They've had as many superstars as any team in baseball.
Yeah.
Ian Happ leads off this fourth inning against Freddie Peralta. Cubs trail 9-1. There's a fastball strike. 1-1. We were talking with our engineer Ryan Elliott, who lives in Milwaukee, regarding the tarpaulin wedged up against the wall. Even though there's a retractable roof here. There's a swing and a miss by Happ, 1-2. And Ryan had a very logical explanation. Sometimes there are those storms that come on unexpectedly, and they're called pop-up storms, and they can bring a tremendous amount of water in a very short amount of time. Swing and a miss by Happ, and he's out number 1. And apparently that's happened here, and they said we need to get a tarp to cover that field while we're waiting to close up the roof. So that's why.
He said the roof takes 10 minutes, 15 minutes to 15 minutes to close. So in 15 minutes, if you get a bad storm in the Midwest, we all know what that can do.
Carson Kelly takes outside, ball 1.
I would say get a new weatherman. That guy's broke.
Here comes the 1-0. These tarps cannot be cheap.
Well, you spent all this money on this beautiful stadium with a roof, and you still need a tarp. I don't understand that. Not with the...
Well, you're a good businessman, Ron. I see where you're coming from, sort of. Here's a fly ball to center. It's caught by Perkins, and that's out number 2. 2 gone, and Pete Crow Armstrong coming up 9-1, Milwaukee leading here in the 4th inning.
Now, one of the positives of today's game, outside of Michael Bush's leadoff homer in the 2nd inning, Pete with another hit, and he got a pitch down in the zone, in the strike zone, and hammered one through the infield on the right side. So Pete with another base hit.
And he'll pull one sharply foul right side. He had the big game on Thursday night against San Diego, 3 hits. He is certainly a dynamic young player. And if he does get hot, he can almost carry you with the things he can do. The defense, the throwing, the running, the power, the hitting in general. Here's a swing and a high pop-up foul. Actually, it's right in fair territory near first base. Vaughn makes the catch, and that ends the inning. 3 up, 3 down, middle of inning number 4. Milwaukee 9, Cubs 1 on the score, and the Southwest.
Let's see if you can figure out the following baseball slang term.
And the left-handed batting Frelick waiting. And the pitch on the way, in there for a strike.
Fourth inning is sponsored by Wintrust, home of the exclusive Cubs debit card. Member FDIC, EHL lender.
Civale coming back 0-1. Line to right, there's another base hit. Frelick a leadoff single. Every swing Milwaukee is taking, they're hitting a line drive somewhere. It's been unbelievable.
Yeah, that's that short swing. And, very few guys, let's put it that way, in their lineup over swing. And, you got to change up in the zone, just out over the plate and just hook that ball into right for a base hit. But there's some days, everything just goes your way. And, for the first 4 innings, that's how it's been for Milwaukee.
Durbin had a 2-run single back in the second inning as he takes a strike here. Caleb Durbin, 11 homers for the regular year. Right-handed batting third baseman. Not a real tall guy, but strong. And he'll take strike 2. All of the field is in the shade except foul territory on the right side. Some sunlight coming through the windows of the upper deck, illuminating foul territory. Strike 2 pitch from Civale. Hit in the air, deep left center, going back. Pro Armstrong still going back, makes the catch up against the fence in deep left center. That ball really carried. Good catch by Pro Armstrong, holding it first on the play. Frelick. Durbin is out, number 1.
Yeah, that ball just kept going. I think Pete thought he had a beat on it, and then all of a sudden he had to keep going back, and then ends up catching it one step in front of the center field wall at the 400-foot mark, or just to the left field side of it. So once again, as we've said earlier, with a very warm day here, 85 degrees at game time, all really carrying.
Blake Perkins with a single and a ground out, 1 for 2. Fourth inning, 9-1 Milwaukee leading. Civale to the belt. The Cub right-hander brings it. And this ball is lifted to left, slicing foul. Over to take a look is Happ, no play, as he ran out of room. And the count 0-2. Perkins hit just .226 in the regular season. Here comes the 0-2 pitch from Civale.
Transitional versus transformative, right? Transitional is wins and losses, if that's all you need. For Murphy, a former college coach, it's transformative. How do you change the athlete that you're trying to lead? For Frelick, it's something he'll never do again.
Joey Ortiz now. Civale has retired 6 of the last 7.
You look no further than Joey Ortiz, who's batting 9th. Great.
Fly ball to right.
But he's been walked twice in this game. The 9th place hitter. Mistake by the Cubs.
I'll take us through 4. The Brewers jumping on top of the Cubs in this Game 1 of the National League Division Series on TBS. Into the fifth now as he faces Dansby Swanson. His first ever playoff meeting between the Cubs and the Brewers. See if this ball gets into the seats. Going to be a tough play for Durbin right up against the screen. That said, they have played in a winner-take-all postseason type game. 2018, a Game 163 tiebreaker to decide the National League Central title. Jose Quintana, now a member of the Brewers, started in that game. He might be the Game 3 starter for Milwaukee, but Chicago lost that game. Milwaukee took the division title, went on to the NLCS that year.
That was what you referred to their last postseason series win when they swept the Rockies and then went on to face the Dodgers. There's Jose Quintana, one of the great guys of the game. Real gentleman, class act.
These two teams in similar places in terms of their lack of series victories in the playoffs lately. 1-2 pitch into Swanson, misses low and away. A win over the Padres for the Cubs. That was their first playoff series win in 8 years. Going back to the NLDS in 2017 against the Nationals. Of course, the Cubs have missed the playoffs 4 years in a row prior to this season. Peralta with strikeout number 7. One gone here in the fifth. You can make your voice heard. Vote now to select the 2025 All-MLB team presented by MGM Rewards. It's your chance to be part of history and honor this season's top performers. Terms and conditions apply. See MLB.com/AllMLB for details. Peralta has conceded 2 hits and 2 walks. But, Ronnie, I can't think of any difficult at-bat yet for him in this game.
Yeah, other than the Bush at-bat, right? But he has cruised so far. You know, he just doesn't give up a lot of hits. Since 2021, the league is batting 199 versus him. He just doesn't give up a ton of hits.
Borderline pitch there. 3-0 to Matt Shaw, who has one of those 2 walks for Chicago.
Outside.
And for the second straight time, Shaw will take a walk.
The 9th place hitter in both lineups has walked twice.
Right. We'll figure. Peralta, if not for Paul Skeens in Pittsburgh, he'd be one of the front runners for National League Cy Young this year.
I think the person that's going to finish second, I think he'll be in the top 3 discussion. The guy who finished second, I think, is Christopher Sanchez, who I think is pitching for the Phillies tonight. He's had quite a year, but Skeens is, 2 seasons now, his ERA under 2. This is supposed to be the formative years.
Right. That's actually the scary thing is you talk to anybody in Pittsburgh and they say, oh, he's still learning how to pitch.
Right. You know, I was lucky enough to be in the same rotation as Dwight Gooden his first 2 years, and talk about transformative. Same start as Skeens. Different day of pitching in those days, of course. But
well, it seems like a while ago that Michael Bush began this game with a bang. A leadoff home.
fans saying, well, here we go again.
Right. 3 for 4 in the clincher against the Padres. Bush 1 for 2 this afternoon. Looper misses well outside, just a bit outside from Peralta. Of course, this is the first playoff game without the great Bob Uecker for Milwaukee. He is every bit a part of this organization still. A legend here for this franchise. Bush strikes out. 8th strikeout for Freddie Peralta.
Well, if you're Michael Bush and you're batting on a 3-2 count and the score is 9-1, you're expecting the 4-seam fastball from Peralta, and he threw the changeup instead.
He's deployed that a couple of times this afternoon to great effect. Nico Hoerner behind 0-1.
I think both teams in this series and this season playing with heavy hearts. Euchre certainly for the Brewers, but Ryan Sandberg, who we lost much too young this summer, for the Cubs, of course. One of the greats.
One of the most beloved players for a city and a team in baseball history.
I never faced anyone more in my career than Ryan Sandberg. Consider that an honor.
Nico Hoerner, his 4th consecutive season with 20-plus stolen bases. He's the first Cubs player to do that since Ryan Sandberg. Peralta's 1-2. This is upstairs. Hoerner, who was 2nd in the National League in batting average this year. And he strikes out. Number 9 for Peralta. right, Lefko. That'll be a lot of fun. What a pitching matchup, too. Mentioned that Sanchez is going for the Phillies. That could be a NLCS matchup, but they meet here in the division series.
A lot of star power there, right? They tried to get Ohtani to talk on how nervous he was going to be, and he ended up talking more about the cheesesteaks that are in the visiting locker room in Philadelphia, which are phenomenal.
They are the best. Dodgers fans are hoping he hasn't eaten too many of them. Because that's easy to do.
He'd have a Ruthian game that way.
Yes. Isaac Collins here to lead things off for the Brewers, and he takes strike 3 from Savali. Collins is in for Jackson Chourio, who re-injured his hamstring. But the Brewers, look at all the hits they've collected.
He's faced so far. We didn't get a chance to talk about Isaac Collins when he's up there, but there will be some pressure on him in this series now. He'll become a starter.
Bryce Terang, the batter here. Boy, did he take a massive leap this year for Milwaukee.
Always thought that he was going to be, you always knew he was a great defensive player. You didn't know how far the hitting would come. And boy, has it come a long way, as you said, this summer.
Lauren, you have more?
Yeah, Pat Murphy said he was going to take quantum leaps from last season to this season. I talked to Bryce about it. He said, look, it's just about experience, getting older, understanding the game more. He said you learn how to maybe get out of something quicker, understand how a guy's trying to attack you better. It's just off of that experience, and I feel more comfortable out there every single game.
Anytime you're on a list with Yount and Molitor in this organization, you're doing something pretty good. Two of the greats.
Count runs full on Terang. And he smacks one the other way. One out single for Terang, and the 9th single for the Brewers this afternoon.
Couple of hits now in his 4 at-bats, a double here, and impressive single going the other way with 2 strikes.
He hit .348 against the Cubs during the regular season. And he's 2 for 4 this afternoon. As Savali misses off the outside corner to Contreras. Infield double play depth. Big hole on the right side.
Contreras has always been one of the more durable catchers. Two consecutive years now catching over 1,000 innings, 128 games as a starter behind the plate this year.
Well, he needed the break, as you mentioned, Ronnie, to heal up from a forearm contusion late in the season. Ground ball scooped up by Shaw. The second for one, on to first. That's a double play. And we're through 5 here in Milwaukee. The Brewers still in control. With you. Packed house at American Family Field in Milwaukee. And these fans probably glad they were in their seats early. 6 runs in the first for the Brewers, 3 in the second. After Chicago led 1-0 on Michael Busch leadoff homer in Game 1 of this National League Division Series.
Of all the ballparks that I'm lucky enough to come to, they are in their seats early here. I know they come early to tailgating, which seems to be more of a NFL rite of passage, right? But it plays big here.
Yeah.
And the folks can't wait to get in this ballpark.
Fans cooking up brats outside the ball game, outside the ballpark for this Game 1. And it's so easy too for Cubs fans to come up here and mix it up with their rivals from the north. And the Brewers actually were promoting they're going to have a train service from Milwaukee to Chicago ahead of Game 3. Get their fans maybe to invade Wrigleyville.
Well,
2-2 pitch, fly ball to left. Collins is there.
Well, against Suzuki, who's been one of the hottest Cubs hitters, Peralta threw him everything but the... and struck out Suzuki for his second at-bat.
An interesting year for Suzuki, up and down for sure, after a terrific first half. Everything seemed to be clicking for the Cubs offense in the first half of the season.
Well, they had everyone with an OPS north of 850, so everyone got off to a quick start in their lineup. They were just pummeling opponents in the first 2.5 months. I don't know if that was a changeup or a breaking ball, but not the fastball that comes inside to Suzuki. Yeah, the breaking ball that he just leaves and it never breaks. Good job by Suzuki getting out of the way. No shadows or anything playing a part here in the ballpark, which is a good thing for these afternoon games.
And the sun pouring through the glass at the top of the stadium, bathing the first base side of the field in sunlight. Ground ball from Suzuki. Durbin, long throw. 2 gone.
We talked a lot about the Cubs defense, and they are a great defense. But this Brewers team can pick it as well. And Durbin with the throw on the run, perfectly thrown to Andrew Vaughn at first.
Since the Michael Busch homer, the lead off the game, the Cubs with just 1 hit. Peralta has issued 3 walks, but only 1 runner has gotten to second base since then.
I said before that Peralta's 9-3 in his lifetime record against the Cubs. It's because 3 or 4 of the hitters in this Cubs lineup really just have a hard time picking up the ball out of Peralta's hand. Happ being one of them.
Peralta with 9 strikeouts. Looking for number 10. This ball is driven to center field. Perkins going back. He looks up. It is gone. A home run. EN Happ to the deepest part of the park. And Chicago has their second run, both by way of the homer.
The little victories you're looking for here if you're the Cubs. I mentioned that Happ had a hard time seeing the ball out of the hand of Peralta. It was 2 for 35 prior to that long ball. Little victories. Catches the fastball out front. And that ball, there's a cement wall behind center field, and it came banging back into play.
Yeah, Happ didn't know he clicked it.
That's how hard that ball was hit. If Perkins didn't intercept it, it might have bounced all the way to the infield.
So Carson Kelly will bat here now. Second career postseason homer for Ian Happ. Veteran for the Cubs. Longest tenured player with the team. This is a hard hit ball up the middle. And back-to-back hits for Chicago. Carson Kelly with a 2-out single.
Changeup. This one, though, not down and in where he threw the one to Suzuki we just showed, but this one just middle.
That'll be it for Freddie Peralta. But what a start it was. Fans rise to their feet in Milwaukee. The Brewers ace getting them into the 6th. And he legs it to a rousing ovation.
Got this feeling inside that I can't put aside because I want you. Although I thought I was fine when I left you behind, I know I loved you. I got this feeling inside that I can't put aside because I want you. Although I thought I was fine when I left you behind, I know I loved you. Got this feeling inside that I can't put aside because I want you. Although I thought I was fine when I left you behind, I know I love you. I got this feeling inside that I can't put aside because I want you. Although I thought I was fine when I left you behind, I know I loved you.
Crow Armstrong.
Nephew of Andy Ashby, the right-hander who pitched for many major league teams, 98 game winner.
And it's a fly ball to left, a lazy one. Collins underneath it, inning over. 5.5 in the books. The Cubs get one back, but it's still a
Although I thought I was fine when I left you behind, I know I loved you. Take this pain and be gone, though you're still my number one. Crucified by your love, I got nowhere else to run. Got this feeling inside that I can't put inside because I want you. Although I thought I was fine when I left you behind, I know I love you. I got this feeling inside that I can't put inside because I want you. Although I thought I was fine when I left you behind, I know I love you. Take this pain and be gone, though you're still my number one. Crucified by your love, I got nowhere else to run. Strawberry lips burning on my skin, craving for you. I tell myself that the bubblegum wrapper is the sin. A tongue so sweet it can knock me out. What can I do? It tastes so good, every word you say is melting in my mouth. But I'm not gonna say that's my flavor. I'll put you away safe for later. Show up my candy
None better.
True original. Often imitated, never duplicated.
Yes.
9-2, the Brewers lead the Cubs, Game 1 of the NLDS. All the damage done early for the Brewers. Aaron Savali has actually done well to stabilize things for the Cubs since coming in the second. Michael Boyd, Michael Soroka, unable to get outs.
Yeah, in a weird way, Savali is resembling the best starting pitching effort they've gotten, but he happens to be the third pitcher.
Right. Yelich with a high fly ball, deep center field. Pete Crow Armstrong tracks it down. Allowed first outs here in the sixth.
Want more postseason stats? Just ask Siri.
After a franchise record in wins during the regular season, Milwaukee trying to put Game 1 to bed here as Vaughn pops this up. And a couple of flyouts here in the sixth. Brewers, remember, just 2-10 in postseason games since their last playoff series victory in 2018.
With that out now, Savali, this has been the longest relief appearance in his career. Much travel the last couple of seasons. Could hear Frelick up here with the groan. as he fouls it off his toe.
We had thought coming into this game, Ronnie, that if the Cubs weren't going to pitch Matthew Boyd on short rest, so take a look at Frelick. Where did this get him? Oh, yeah. That'll be black and blue tomorrow. We had thought that perhaps they would have gone to a bullpen game and maybe used Savali as one of their piggyback guys. Just to give Matthew Boyd an extra couple of days. Instead, Boyd got lit up. Only got 2 outs in this one. Final lineup, Boyd was 2/3 of an inning, 4 hits, 6 runs, though with the error thrown in that first inning, only 2 of them were earned.
You know, Matthew Boyd's had such a strong season, 14 wins, low ERA. He was their best pitcher for a long time early in the season. It's one of the reasons Cubs had a good year is because of his performance. Just a tough one today.
The second time in Boyd's career he's had to make a start on 3 days or fewer rest. Looking on from the dugout now. Ball and 2 strikes to Frelick. And he pops it up. Happ makes the call and the catch. And it's a 1-2-3-6 for Savali. The 2025 National League Division Series is presented by Booking.com.
Afternoon, but something we'll definitely be keeping an eye on over the next 2 days before Game 2.
It will be a massive story to watch. Brewers will have all of tonight, all of tomorrow, and then a night game for Game 2 of this series on Monday.
That's right, 8:08 East Coast, 7:08 here. There have been different times in Aaron Ashby's career that they've considered making him into a starter. He has starters stuff, but it seems like he's found a nice home for Pat Murphy in that bullpen.
Former starter. He was a top pitching prospect in this organization for a while. Strike 3 called, dotting the corner at 98. And Swanson is rung up for the third time this afternoon. With the baseball postseason here, you need the MLB app. Your team, your players, your postseason. Follow all the postseason action. Download the MLB app, the #1 app for live baseball. Matt Shaw, the rookie third baseman, will bat here for the Cubs. Aaron Ashby at one point was considered the top pitching prospect in the Brewers organization. Then he suffered a torn labrum in 2023. And since coming back from that, he's been used primarily as a reliever.
Yes, it is.
Shaw tied up in a knot.
I mean, that's how nasty that curveball is. Didn't even make it to the plate and got a check swing versus Shaw. I mean, that bounced about 55 feet away.
Contreras tried to frame it.
Just really back legs it, gets right on that breaking ball. He thought he hit the back door, but good call by home plate umpire Moscoso. It's been good all afternoon.
Shaw, who had a really good second half for the Cubs. Their manager Craig Counsell will have to hit the reset button in Game 2, especially pitching-wise. Contreras calls time. He and Ashby crossed up.
A lot of times they'll go out there, the catcher, pay that visit because of the pitch timer. They're going to lose pitch timer and call the ball. So he sprinted out there. They got it right.
Popped up. Frelick is there. Of course, among the many storylines here for the Cubs coming into this series is the return of Craig Counsell to Milwaukee, who's certainly received a less than favorable reaction every time he's come here in the regular season. 9 seasons as the Brewers manager, shocking the baseball world when he left for the Cubs after the 2023 season. He played 6 seasons here in Milwaukee as well. Still so close with so many on the staff here. To get the job in Chicago, he actually had to travel in secret to meet with Jed Hoyer. He didn't want to tip anybody off that he was talking about taking that job down I-94, which at the time made him the highest paid manager in the game.
Well, he had to do it in secret because the Cubs already had a manager in David Ross. a real solid manager. But Jed Hoyer said and considered Craig one of the more bright minds of this game. He had to take a shot. I think everyone in baseball hopes that David Ross gets another shot.
Ground ball, Turang makes the play. 1, 2, 3, 7 for Ashby. Time to get up and stretch in Milwaukee and roll out the barrel.
As we take you inside the booth, presented by AT&T. Alex Faust and Ron Darling here with you. The Brewers' explosion in the first couple innings of this game, that's the headline.
It is a headline, but it's a game I think that Milwaukee had to have. You know, they had the edge with their best pitcher Peralta going.
Card series were heavily. In some ways, they got saved today by letting Aaron Savali go 4 1/3, and they transition here to Ben Brown, who comes into the game for the Cubs, and will face 7, 8, and 9 for the Brewers. But Chicago, to your point, Ronnie, I think in some ways you look at when you're on the road to start a series, if you get a split, that's your goal.
And they were on such a high coming off that wild card series that maybe there was a little hangover from that series. Certainly Peralta was on his A game today. That happens. Matthew Boyd should just consider later in the series he might play a role. So.
It'll be a storyline for both teams, how to utilize the bullpen as the series goes along. Caleb Durbin, a 2-run single in the second. And he goes around here.
Tough year for Ben Brown, who's in for the Cubs. Great job by Aaron Savali. Hard thrower, hard curveball. He's always pitched well against the Brewers, and maybe that's why he got on the roster. It was either Ben Brown or Taylor Rogers, the left-hander, so they went with Brown. I think that's the real hard part for managers is on this day, you had to have your roster in by about 10 a.m., and so you have to have some tough discussions with guys that have really played a big part in why you're here, and sometimes they're left off that roster.
Strikeout of Durbin as Brown makes his first career postseason appearance. The Milwaukee Brewers, of course, the best record in baseball during the regular season. Defying the odds once again. Teams with the best record to win the World Series in the last 15 years, well, it's only happened 5 times. Last year, of course, the Dodgers, just a juggernaut from start to finish. But for Milwaukee, again, this is just game 1 of a best of 5. Can they take this style of play, this formula that has worked for them so well, and apply it to playoff baseball where we've seen time and time again that you need a combination of a top-tier bullpen and some slug in your lineup?
9 runs without a homer. You know, they are, with Churiel out now, it looks like he's not going to probably play a role in the rest of this series with the hamstring strain. They've got some power on the lineup, just not like the Cubs have. With anyone in that lineup from 1 to 9 can hit a home run for the Cubs.
And that's where the threat comes in for a team like Chicago, that if they turn it on, that's what they have, one area that Milwaukee does not. The Brewers, who have hit the fewest homers of any remaining team in the postseason. There's a strike to run the count full on Blake Perkins.
Both of these teams are great teams. And this is a strange game, right? 9-2 score, 2 real solid teams. One had the best record in baseball. This will end up being a real close series only because of all the games they played this year. All of them have been heated and intense.
Cubs won the season series 7-6 during the regular season. Payoff pitch spoiled by Perkins.
You know, sometimes you're asked all the time how much you need experience to play in these postseason games, and it doesn't hurt. Certainly it helps. But sometimes you can have the lack of experience.
Perkins smacks one into the right field corner. It's off the wall on one hop. And it's a stand-up double for Perkins.
Pat Murphy put Perkins into the lineup late. Why? Because Freddie Peralta gives up a lot of fly balls. He wanted his best defensive outfield. And he produces 2 hits now from the 8th slot. Little breaking ball that he bangs down into the right field corner.
We detailed how emotional this season has been for Perkins. Getting the start in center field here today. A first inning single on 11 pitches. He doubles on the 8th pitch of his at-bat here in the 7th.
One from the right side, one from the left side.
Right. "13 hits. All of them have stayed in the yard. And the Brewers are on the verge of double-digit run production. Team with a real chemistry about them. Personality that runs through their clubhouse. Ball and 2 strikes to Joey Ortiz, the 9-hole hitter.
You know, in today's game in the postseason, it's all about the home runs, right? Out homer your opponent, you win 82% of your games. So that is, in a macro world, sorry. That's how you look at the game as Ortiz goes down on strikes. But in the micro world, we're dealing with today. And Pat Murphy talked about that. He said, they have a lot of power. They play great defense. They do a lot of things we envy over here. But it's one game. It's today. Who's better today? And so far, certainly it's been the Brewers.
They've been out homered today.
There you go, right?
but not out hit, that's for sure. Play Ball is baseball's global youth initiative to highlight the fun and accessible ways to play our great game. To learn more, including how to find a league near you, go to playball.org. Follow @playball on X, Facebook, and Instagram. This will hang up there for Suzuki. And the inning is over. Through 7, the Brewers 6 outs from a Game 1 win. The National League Division. Is Jared Koenig, a left-hander, who had a terrific regular season for Milwaukee.
72 games, whip, a good number, almost a little over a strikeout an inning, 68 strikeouts in 60 innings.
Nico Horner leading things off for the Cubs here in the 8th. And this is something you and I talked a lot about, Ronnie. One of the first points that you hammered home about this series was how important the bullpen's going to be for the Brewers.
Yeah, just a week it's going to take to play 5 games in this division series. And for the Brewers, they've still got some question marks here in Game 1 of this division series. Trevor McGill pitched in Game 162. They wanted to see how his arm was doing. He suffered a flexor strain, which he's trying to nurse back, and they have to see him in the game to see whether he can release that good breaking ball. That's one of his best pitches. And whether that flexor strain is healed and he can take really snapping that pitch off. As an extra part of that, Trevor McGill's brother, Tyler McGill, had the same injury and now is going to undergo Tommy John surgery. So that's a strange thing to have on your mind, right?
It's human nature.
Right, of course.
And then the Brewers late season had an injury with DL Hall as well, who was great for them in high leverage situations. He's not on the roster for the division series.
They had some hard decisions to make. Tobias Myers was so good for them out of the bullpen this year. They ended up going with Mizorowski and Anderson.
There's a drive to left field from Horner. Way back there and gone. The third solo homer for the Cubs this afternoon. This one belongs to Nico Horner. And the deficit is down to 6. Second leadoff shot for the Cubs as well.
Bush led off the game with a home run. Now Horner, after striking out a couple of times, catches one on the barrel. Four-seamer right there. Horner only had 7 home runs during the regular season. More of a base hit machine.
It's his first career postseason home run. Well, if you were to tell me, Ronnie, that the Cubs out-homer the Brewers 3-zip and they lost Game 1,
you wouldn't even have to say that. Just say, if someone told you after the game, the Cubs hit 3 home runs today, wow, what was the score? They lost, you know what I mean?
Right.
And that, of course, hasn't happened yet. Hi. Seen postseason games get away from teams. Got to respect each and every out.
The Cubs have not come back from 6 or more runs down this season. Tucker goes around. It's a ball and 2 strikes. Grounded right back up the middle off the glove of Koenig. He'll pick it up and fire in time. Of course, this is day 1 of the division series in both leagues. Yankees, Blue Jays just underway. Tonight, game 1 between the Dodgers and the Phillies. And then later tonight, the Tigers and the Mariners. Tomorrow, the AL takes center stage. Game 2s, Yankees, Blue Jays, Tigers, Mariners, both on FS1. Blue Jays winning the American League East. Seattle Mariners having a magical season. Their pitching staff, again, solid, but Cal Raleigh, an otherworldly type year as a primary catcher.
Jared Koenig is a story about never giving up on your dream. Not drafted in 2016. Played for the Salina Stockade, San Rafael Pacifics, ended up playing for the Birmingham Bloomfield Beavers. I admire those guys that are going to have the uniforms ripped off before they let that dream go by.
Now in his third big league season, Koenig. It is a long road from independent ball to the big leagues.
How about the postseason?
In the air from Suzuki. Frelick backpedaling makes the catch. Well, this, I think, for a guy like Koenig, lines up well with the way this Brewers team is constructed. That average Joe's line keeps coming up.
It's also a soft landing for your first time in the postseason is a good thing as this series goes on.
You're right, for many of these guys, it's their first experience.
Right.
Happ taps it in front of home plate. Contreras is there. And the inning is over. 3 homers for the Cubs today, but it's a 9-3 lead for Milwaukee. The 2025 National League Division Series is presented by Booking.com. And Brown remains on the hill for the Cubs. Bottom of the 8th, 9-3 Milwaukee. 9 runs for the Brewers coming in the first 2 innings. They batted around in the first. Sent 9 men to the plate in the second. From that point on, Aaron Savali did what he had to preserve the Cubs bullpen. Freddie Peralta with a gem today. 5 2/3. 4 hits. 2 earned. Both on solo homers. Exactly what the doctor ordered for the Brewers coming off their bye week.
It was interesting when asked, Craig Counsell was talking about kind of the approach that the Brewers have, and he said, I know Pat Murphy pretty well. He likes his team to not swing a lot, and when they do swing, put the ball in play. But he was alluding to that they aren't usually aggressive. And it was great to see Lauren ask Pat Murphy that question, because they were just the opposite today. Maybe that's signs of a young team. You know, couldn't wait to swing the bat.
Terang down on strikes. Oh, to your point earlier, Ronnie, sometimes you don't know what you don't know.
It's so true.
They didn't swing out of their shoes, though. They stuck with the same formula that has gotten them to this point. The only thing they didn't do, which probably didn't have a chance to early in this game, was steal a base. Ball was in play so often.
Well, and the big deficit, right?
Right.
Or the large lead. I think what's interesting to me about the Brewers is that they didn't lose in the postseason last year. They had one of the more devastating losses you could have. Up 2-0 in the 9th inning. Alonso hits a 3-run home run off your closer. You lose your closer then to a trade to the Yankees. Willy Adames, one of the foundation centers of your team. What a play by Swanson, which has been an October full of plays. One of the best shortstops in the game. One thing that separates Swanson is that he is so good to his backhand. Really still maintains those soft hands with anything hard to the backhand. Such a pure, soft-handed fielder. Fun to watch.
Well, it's going to be a theme throughout this series. The ball in play from the Brewers and the Cubs defense and how that matches up.
Well, they found grass today. There was nothing that the defense could do. But quickly, you lose Willy Adames and Devin Williams. How many teams in baseball could lose their closer and their starting shortstop and win 97 games? Not a lot. Not many.
Well, going back even further, right? You know, David Stearns gets hired away by the Mets. Craig Counsell hired away by the Cubs. And they have just kept plugging away here in Milwaukee, defying the odds.
If you want a culture of winning, look no further than in that Milwaukee dugout.
GM Matt Arnold, year after year, finding the right fits.
And the Cubbies are going to come back on Monday, and they're going to be angry. There's Mark Antonasio. I mean, he really revitalized baseball back here. I mean, the stands have been filled quite a long time now.
Can't blame him for that smile. Christian Yelich draws a walk. A 2-out walk for Yelich. He didn't even know it was ball 4. Happens to the best of them.
The ump cam told him.
Jake Bauers will pinch hit for Andrew Vaughn here. And a great finish to the regular season, Bauers.
Just another little thing that means nothing, except that Bauers gets a nice at-bat late in the game. he's going to get some starts in this series.
And one of the wrinkles for Milwaukee, they left Rhys Hoskins off their postseason roster, who was their first baseman to begin the year. And then when he got hurt and they traded for Andrew Vaughn, Vaughn took over as the everyday first baseman, even well after Hoskins was healthy enough to play.
Yeah, Rhys, 6 home runs and 13 RBIs in 20 games. It's hard to leave off. He's always been great in the post.
Bowers is filled in from time to time at first base as well. Cubs in the bottom of the ninth, or in the top of the ninth, I should say. We'll have Kelly, Pete Crow Armstrong, and Dansby Swanson. Team by many accounts favored to win the division coming into the season. Challenge for the National League pennant. Forced to go through the wild card round. This ball gets away from Carson Kelly, allows Yelich to advance 90 feet. Can they bounce back from this performance with an off day to follow tomorrow?
Cubbies don't have their Game 2 pitcher yet. We've heard Shota Imanaga.
Yeah, they didn't announce Boyd until very late today.
Well, late last night, yeah.
Yeah, late last night, yeah. Have to figure Imanaga would be, especially with the extra day baked in, Game 2 starter for Chicago. Full count here to Bowers. Imanaga struggled down the stretch. He dealt with an injury midway through the season.
Yeah, 12 home runs in his last 6 starts, 31 for the season. That's been really the bugaboo for Imanaga.
Payoff to the pinch hitter Bowers. Yelich takes off. It's ball 4. Well, there's your stolen base.
Seems like an odd base to steal in a 9-3 game in the 8th. They weren't paying attention to him, which usually doesn't happen. Took third because Shaw was playing so far up the line, there was no reason, no way he could cover. So kind of a free base. Yelich took it.
Fastball misses low to Sal Frelick. If they hadn't landed the knockout blow already, this would be the time. Ooh, that nearly got away.
These guys who throw 100 sometimes throw 100 to first base. Not great for Michael Busch. This one's over his head, just snares it in time.
Ben Brown trying to complete 2 innings of relief. Talked about the Cubs and who they might start in Game 2. Brewers have Quinn Priester, who was just lights out during the regular season.
Yeah, it was win day when he pitched, right?
On the ground from Frelick. And that'll end the inning. Last licks for the Cubs. A 6-run lead for Milwaukee as we head to the ninth.
is under 500. First 3 games will be started by left-handers for the Phillies. Sanchez, Luzardo, and Ranger Suarez. I'm not sure if it's in that order. Nick Meir is in to try to finish this up for the Brewers.
Many of the 40-plus thousand sellout crowd here at American Family Field in Milwaukee still in their seats as the Brewers look to cinch up Game 1. Ball and 2 strikes to Kelly. Nick Mears, who had a career-high 63 appearances during the regular season for the Brewers, that at times was pieced together due to injury. Kelly down on strikes. 1 gone.
Fastball, slider, four-seamer, high in the zone, good ride to it, throws it by Kelly.
Generous strike 1 to Pete Crow Armstrong.
11 Cubs have gone down swinging today.
Different guys have had to carry the load for the Brewers bullpen over the second half of the year. Mears among them. A top 5 bullpen ERA since the All-Star break. Even with Shelby Miller done, out with injury. Trevor McGill shut down late. DL Hall out for the end of the regular season, unavailable to start the postseason. And even Nick Mears had a back flare-up over the final month of the season, but is ready to go here to try to put the finishing touches on a Game 1 win. 0-2 pitch, strike 3. Right down the pipe at 97. And they're on their feet in Milwaukee with the Cubs down to their final out.
There's a fierce beauty to the fall season. Fierce for the Cubs today. Beautiful for the Brewers.
Oh, 0-1 to Swanson. The fireworks started early for Milwaukee. Mears looking to strike out the side to finish off the Cubs in Game 1. Pop foul. Drifting towards the seats.
That's one that almost caught those wires that is hanging over the ballpark here from the roof. If it hits it in foul territory, it's foul. Hits it in fair territory, play it as it is.
Mears unable to get the call. There's a line drive to left and a base hit for Swanson. Around first and sprint into second with a 2-out double to extend this game. And the Cubs will use a pinch hitter here.
Breaking ball from Mears. Swanson stays on it, pulls it down into the corner for a double. Those are the kind of at-bats. He's had 3 strikeouts in the game. If you were less of a competitor than Dansby Swanson, you might kick in that 4th at-bat. Not Dansby.
Chris Hook with a quick conversation. And Moises Ballesteros will pinch hit for Chicago.
Ballesteros came up late in the season, got tremendous power to left center and left field.
Brewers will let Dansby Swanson jog into third with a stolen base.
Catcher by trade, maybe not ready to catch here in the postseason, but boy, his bat plays.
Actually, they'll call that defensive indifference. Ball and a strike here to Ballesteros. We saw his numbers making a great early impression.
He just always looks comfortable when I've seen him in small snippets. His at-bats, he never seems like he's ever befuddled.
Having a good at bat here. Ballesteros rolls over on one. It stays fair, and that'll do it. The best team in baseball during the regular season. The Brewers with a barrage in Game 1. One of the largest postseason wins in franchise history. And the Brewers lead this series 1-0.
Team with the best record in baseball. You need 11 to go all the way through. They got number 1 here by the Brewers. Not the Cubbies' day. Freddie Peralta was on time. And Brewers just came out and were ready to play in the first inning and resulted in 6 runs.
9 in the first 2. A short day for Matthew Boyd and Michael Soroka. And now an off day for the Cubs to lick their wounds after a frantic last 36 hours. A dramatic win to finish the wild card to get to this division series, but punched in the mouth by the Brewers to begin this series.